I want to be next. I want to be on the wall. I want to be there forever. No one's taking that away. When they brought me in to interview me, they said, you know, let me just show you the room and you can see if you like the idea. This is kind of what won me over is when I saw my own name. I'm like, how's my own name already there? And it was my dad and Coach Johnson in the 90s.
History written all over 4 enclosed walls. A small room bleeding nostalgia, echoing past successes. Traditions wafting through the halls that lead to the Yuma Criminals wrestling room.
Renee, keep talking to him, all right? I like what you're doing there.
For nearly 30 years, wrestling has been a lifeline for Jose Caceres Jr., something that came full circle when he was introduced as the newest Yuma head wrestling coach in 2021, a job that came with heavy weight.
Right away, people around coworkers, not even meaning to say it, but they would just say like, oh wow, you got big shoes to fill. You know, Coach Welsing was a great guy and he won 2 state championships. How many are you gonna win?
Those 2 team state titles just part of the tough act to follow that Jeff Welsing left behind. Also coaching up 7 individual state champs to reach that wall before his departure to Yuma Catholic. All the while, several other surrounding Yuma schools reaching the title stand again and again, with even more this past season in 2023. Yet with self-pressure mounting for Caceres to lift the program back up, there's a piece of history on his side.
You just could see me right there as a young kid, as a baby, just not even knowing what sport I was born into, what they brought me into.
For Caceres, his hiring was far from an introduction to the room he now coaches in. In fact, it was the room he grew up in.
I was born into it, you know, I had no choice. You know, when I was born, my earliest memories were in the wrestling room.
A room that he once again shares with the #1 man in his corner, his own father, Jose Sr.
I was back here in the 90s. I was actually here when this room was actually built. I was a teacher here. It's great to be back. I felt like I never left, and it's good to be here. Once again, I feel, you know, it's home.
Despite that time away from the mat, there was still no erasing 2 pictures of a legacy passed a generation down.
That same guy's still in my corner, and you look right here, he's right here. It's my dad, you know, shout to him. And to see that we're still keeping the tradition going with Criminals wrestling, being strong and all. Oh man, you guys do a different drill now? He would bring me to work. You know, little did I know all these guys that I would just see and they'd say hi to me would later become the people on the wall. I didn't know that.
While Jose would go on to wrestle at Gila Ridge and then again in college, all roads somehow led back to where it all began.
I just didn't stay away from it. You know, I just kept coming back, and it's crazy to think that my earliest memories are this room, and it looks exactly the same, just a lot more decorated.
Decorated from the countless names that helped pump success and pride into this program, now all left up to a father-son duo to salvage those traditions.
What's crazy about it is just seeing that 20 years later, that generation gap, a lot of it is just translated back to what it was 20 years ago. We're still doing the same types of workout, the same types of moves, and we're still seeing success in it.
Clap it up. The only missing piece is another state champ.
You know, who's gonna be next? Who wants it more?
Kids sometimes don't care how much you know, but they know how much you care. And you know, sometimes if those kids know that you care for them, and they'll walk through walls for you.
The Caceres duo aiming to break down those walls and make Yuma a home for state titles once again, just like the home it is made for them.
Defending the palace, defending your home? What happens when someone breaks into your house? Are you gonna be too nervous to get out there and scrap?
It would mean a lot that, you know, get a state champ also for himself. It's like I tell him, sometimes I stand at that doorway and it's like I never left. You know, I feel like I'm at home.
A father and a son, tradition, 20 years later. From one picture to another, locking up a legacy on the mat.